By the town of Hoylake on the Dee estuary stands Royal Liverpool Golf Club, a course brimming with history. In fact, it's the second oldest seaside course in England after Westward Ho in Devon and has been a regular host to the Open Championship.
Hoylake, home of Royal Liverpool Golf Club, has always been one of the strongest links courses in the UK, and the history here in the game of golf is second to none.
Queen Victoria was reigning over the British Empire when Hoylake first staged the Open Championship in 1897. No fewer than 11 Open champions have been crowned here, including some of the greats of the game like Walter Hagen, Bobby Jones and more recently Tiger Woods. Legendary golf writer Bernard Darwin described Royal Liverpool as blown upon by mighty winds, breeder of mighty champions. Old Tom Morris's younger brother George Morris and Robert Chambers were commissioned to lay out the first 9 holes at Hoylake in 1869 on the site of the racecourse of the Liverpool Hunt Club.
George Morris laid out the first 9 holes, and he brought his son down, Jack, and said, "Well, what do you think about it?" He said, "Oh, I don't like it at all." He said, well, do you want to come back home?" He said, "No, I'll stay a week and see what happens." That was in August 1869, and he stayed for 60 years. Professional for the first 60 years of the Royal Liverpool Golf Club.
With strong foundations, the reputation of Royal Liverpool spread. The club attracted a talented membership, including 2 standout players of their era, John Ball and Harold Hilton. Ball won the Amateur Championship 8 times and the Open in 1890 as an amateur. Hilton's record was equally impressive and included 2 Open Championship wins. In 1902, 5 years after Hilton's second Open victory, the great championship returned to Hoylake, and Sandy Hurd won with a total 7 shots lower. He was the only player that week using the new Haskell rubber-wound ball. In 1907, Frenchman Arnaud Massy brought some continental flair with him to Royal Liverpool in the Open and fended off a strong pack of British players. He was so proud of winning that when his daughter was born that week, he christened her Hoylake Massy. In 1913, J.H. Taylor, one of the great triumvirate, was untouchable, and 19 years after his first Open Championship, he won his 5th, 8 shots clear of Ted Ray. Since 1885, Royal Liverpool's had a special affiliation with the Amateur Championship, and has played host to many of the game's rising stars, who've come to pit their wits, test their swings and their patience in the face of Hoylake's formidable defences. Many have also drawn inspiration from the club's rich history. In the Roaring Twenties, Walter Hagen was the playboy of the golfing world, and in 1924 at Hoylake, having won 2 years before at Royal St George's, he chased down Ernest Whitcomb for a second Open title. It was a thrilling encounter with a man who famously said he didn't want to be a millionaire just to live like one, emerging triumphant by a single stroke, delighting the galleries in the process, and apparently Mrs. Hagen as well. Bobby Jones arrived at Royal Liverpool in 1930, having already won the Amateur Championship that year, and on his way to an historic first ever Grand Slam of all 4 major golfing titles in a season. A lawyer by profession, Jones set the clubhouse target, and when no one was able to catch him, he celebrated his 3rd Open win as an amateur, another first for the American. He beat Hagen's winning score of 1924 by a full 10 strokes. Alf Padgham, the professional at Sundridge Park in Kent, won when the Open returned to Hoylake in 1936, putting in a strong finish to beat the likes of Henry Cotton en route to victory. Fred Daly became the first Irishman to have his name engraved on the claret jug in 1947 at Royal Liverpool. He won by a stroke over Reg Horn and American amateur Frank Stranahan, to the obvious delight of the crowd.
It's a great honour for me to take this cup back to Ireland with me. It has never been over there before, and I hope the change of air will help it.
In 1956, Peter Thomson wrote his own piece of Open history at Hoylake, the Australian becoming the first player in the 20th century to win 3 consecutive Open titles.
The Hoylake was special in its way because when you win one, it doesn't make a big impact, truthfully. If you win two, well, people are beginning to take notice. Yeah, you must be good. If you win three, well, they can't argue about it.
11 years later, and having finished third behind Thompson in 1956, Roberto Di Vincenzo claimed the title ahead of Jack Nicklaus, the first Argentinian to win the Open.
He was really, looking about it, he was destined to win. He done well here in 1956, and in autumn 1966, the year before his Open, he played in a television match here, and it was a lovely early autumn day, late summer day, and he, I think, just sort of fell in love with the place. I think it got into his veins.
He played with Gary Player in the final round of the Open, and with his caddy faced a crucial club selection at the par 5 16th.
Before he could any said, I pulled the cover off the free wood and he says, "You want me to play this? You want me to go this way?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "No this way, no later." I said, "No, we need birdie." And then he hit it. And I knew with the click that he hit it perfect. I was just watching it, and my stomach was up in my throat. But then I seen it pitch short of the green and got put the green. That was the end of the story.
And I'll never forget the shot he hit over the practice tee, which was out of bounds. I assume it still is. Onto the 16th green and got his birdie.
The outcome was one of the most heartwarming in the long history of the Open Championship. Di Vincenzo's talent had finally been translated into the game's most coveted title, and he was overjoyed. He was the first champion from a non-English speaking country since Arno Massi 60 years earlier. As the celebrations got underway, no one realised it would be almost another 40 years before the Open would return to the links of Royal Liverpool. In 2006, it was back.
And with a score of 270, the winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Tiger Woods.
After the loss of his father earlier in the year, Tiger Woods secured an emotional win, his third Open Championship in 2006. His strategy on a hard-running Hoylake saw him leave his driver in the bag all week as he won by 2 shots. This Rolex Top 1000 course has staged many other high-profile tournaments, most recently the 2012 Women's British Open won by Ji Shin. And for those who understand and admire its challenge, there's another chance to enjoy Royal Liverpool in 2014 as the Open returns.